The year was 2143, a golden age of human innovation and exploration. Earth had long since overcome the barriers of interstellar travel, and humanity had spread its influence across the stars. Among the numerous starships that traversed the galaxy was the Vanguard, a state-of-the-art exploration vessel under the command of the seasoned Captain Elena Rodriguez. Captain Rodriguez was a veteran of countless missions, known for her sharp instincts and unyielding resolve. Her crew comprised some of the brightest minds and bravest hearts in the fleet. Together they had faced many perils, but nothing could have prepared them for what lay ahead. Their mission was to investigate a newly discovered exoplanet, designated NX-452, located in a remote corner of the galaxy. Initial scans had shown promising signs of life and a potentially habitable environment. The crew was eager to explore, hoping to uncover new resources and knowledge to benefit humanity. As the Vanguard approached NX-452, the ship's sensors detected an unusual energy signature emanating from the planet's surface. It was unlike anything they had encountered before. Intrigued, Captain Rodriguez ordered a closer examination. "Helm, take us into low orbit," she commanded. "Let's get a better look at this anomaly." The ship descended into the planet's atmosphere, revealing a breathtaking landscape. Vast forests of towering bioluminescent trees stretched as far as the eye could see, their leaves shimmering with an ethereal glow. Rivers of liquid crystal snaked through the valleys, reflecting the vibrant hues of the alien flora. It was a paradise, untouched and pristine. "Deploy the landing team," Captain Rodriguez instructed. "I want a full analysis of that energy source." The landing team, equipped with advanced scanning equipment and protective suits, descended to the surface in a sleek shuttle. As they disembarked, they were struck by the beauty and tranquility of their surroundings. The air was surprisingly breathable, and the atmosphere felt almost welcoming. "Stay alert," Rodriguez cautioned over the comms. "We don't know what we're dealing with here." The team moved cautiously through the dense forest, following the signal of the energy signature. As they neared the source, the trees began to thin out, revealing a clearing dominated by a massive ancient structure. The structure was unlike anything they had ever seen, a colossal edifice covered in strange, glowing runes that pulsed with a mysterious energy. "Captain, we've found the source," reported Lieutenant Harris, the team's lead scientist. "It's some kind of alien structure, and it's emitting a powerful energy field." "Proceed with caution," Rodriguez replied. "Gather as much data as you can, but don't take any unnecessary risks." The team began to scan the structure, analyzing its composition and the energy readings. The runes seemed to be part of a complex network, channeling energy through the structure in a pattern that defied conventional understanding. As they worked, the air grew tense, a sense of unease settling over them. Without warning, the structure sprang to life. The runes flared brightly, and a deep, resonant hum filled the air. The ground trembled, and a fissure opened at the base of the structure, releasing a swarm of bizarre, insectoid creatures. They were unlike any known species, with segmented bodies, multiple limbs, and eyes that glowed with an eerie, malevolent light. "Fall back!" Harris shouted as the creatures swarmed towards them with alarming speed. The team retreated, firing their weapons in a desperate attempt to fend off the attackers. The creatures were relentless, their chitinous exoskeletons proving resistant to standard weapons. Panic began to set in as the team realized they were outmatched. "Get to the shuttle!" Rodriguez's voice crackled over the comms. "We need to get you out of there now!" Fighting their way back, the team managed to reach the shuttle, but the creatures were in close pursuit. As they launched back towards the Vanguard, the creatures swarmed the shuttle, latching onto the hull and trying to breach it. "Captain, they're all over us," Harris yelled. "We need support." "Hold on, we're bringing you in," Rodriguez responded, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Prepare for emergency docking procedures." The Vanguard's crew worked frantically to create a safe docking corridor, using the ship's defensive systems to clear the creatures from the shuttle. With precision and teamwork, they managed to bring the shuttle aboard and seal the airlock just as the last of the creatures were repelled. The landing team stumbled out of the shuttle, bruised and shaken, but alive. Captain Rodriguez met them in the hangar, her expression grim. Report, she demanded. Harris took a deep breath. The structure is some kind of alien outpost. The creatures we encountered are incredibly hostile, and there's no telling how many more are out there. We need to get this data back to Earth fast. Rodriguez nodded. Agreed. Helm, set course for Earth. Maximum warp. We need to warn the UEDC. As the Vanguard leapt into hyperspace, the crew couldn't shake the feeling that they had stumbled upon something far greater and more dangerous than they had ever imagined. The mutant alien invaders were real, and humanity was about to face a threat unlike any it had ever encountered. In the silence of space, the runes on the alien structure continued to pulse with an ominous light, as if aware of the battle to come. The distress signal from the Vanguard sent shockwaves through the United Earth Defense Coalition, UEDC. The information about the mutant alien creatures, later identified as the Zarkons, triggered an immediate and unprecedented response. The coalition's headquarters in New Geneva became a hive of activity as military leaders, scientists, and strategists gathered to assess the threat and formulate a plan. Commander Michael Carter, a seasoned military strategist with a reputation for unconventional tactics, was appointed to lead the defense effort. Known for his calm demeanor under pressure and sharp analytical mind, Carter was the ideal choice to navigate humanity through this crisis. He quickly called for a meeting of the top brass at the UEDC. "Thank you for assembling on such short notice," Carter began, addressing the gathered officials and experts. "Our situation is dire. The Zarkons are a highly advanced and hostile species, capable of rapid mutation and possessing formidable abilities. We need to understand their strengths and, more importantly, their weaknesses." Dr. Aisha Patel, one of the leading xenobiologists, stepped forward. "Our preliminary analysis suggests that the Zarkons' abilities are controlled by a complex neural network. These runes we've observed seem to play a crucial role in their coordination and mutation processes. If we can disrupt this network, we might be able to weaken them." Carter nodded. "We need more data. I'm assigning teams to study the captured specimens and analyze the energy readings from the alien structures. At the same time, we need to prepare our defenses and rally all available forces." The UEDC mobilized quickly, sending out calls for assistance to human colonies and allied extraterrestrial civilizations. The response was overwhelming. Colonies on Mars, Europa, and beyond pledged their support, sending ships, supplies, and personnel. Even the enigmatic Sylvans, a non-human species with advanced technology, offered their aid. The galaxy seemed to understand the gravity of the threat and the necessity of a united front. Back on Earth, the defense effort was in full swing. Factories shifted to producing advanced weaponry and defense systems. Scientists worked around the clock to develop new technologies that could counter the Zarkons' abilities. The best minds in genetics, robotics, and quantum physics collaborated in a race against time. Meanwhile, Captain Elena Rodriguez and her crew were debriefed extensively about their encounter. Their first-hand experience provided invaluable insights into the Zarkons' behavior and tactics. Rodriguez, now a central figure in the defense effort, was determined to lead the charge against the invaders. In a secure underground facility, Dr. Patel and her team of scientists examined the captured Zarkon specimens. The creatures were contained in reinforced, energy-dampening cells to prevent any potential escape or telepathic influence. Using cutting-edge equipment, the team began to unravel the mysteries of the Zarkons' genetic code. "We're seeing a level of genetic engineering that's far beyond anything we've encountered," Dr. Patel explained to Commander Carter during a briefing. "Their DNA is incredibly adaptive, allowing them to mutate and evolve rapidly in response to threats. But this adaptation is not without limits. If we can disrupt their neural network, we can cause these mutations to become unstable." Carter absorbed the information, his mind already working on how to translate these findings into actionable strategies. "Good work, Dr. Patel. We'll need to develop a bioweapon capable of targeting this neural network, and we'll need a delivery system that can penetrate their defenses." As the days passed, the UEDC's preparations intensified. Training programs were accelerated, with soldiers and pilots undergoing rigorous drills to prepare for the battles ahead. New fleets of warships were constructed, equipped with the latest advancements in energy shields and weaponry. The Coalition's resolve was unyielding. They would not allow the Zarkons to overrun humanity without a fight. One evening, as the sun set over New Geneva, Commander Carter convened a final strategy session with his top advisors. The room was filled with a palpable tension, but also a sense of determination. Our intelligence indicates that the Zarkons have established strongholds on several key planets, Carter began. We will launch a coordinated series of strikes to disrupt their operations and gather more data. At the same time, we must protect our core worlds and ensure the safety of our civilian populations. He turned to Captain Rodriguez. Elena, your experience on NX 452 makes you the ideal candidate to lead our reconnaissance missions. I need you to gather as much intelligence as possible and identify the locations of their neural network hubs. Rodriguez nodded, her expression resolute. Understood, Commander. We'll get the job done. Dr. Patel added, We're close to finalizing the bioweapon, but we'll need field data to calibrate it properly. Captain Rodriguez's missions will be crucial for this. With the plans set, the UEDC launched Operation Phoenix, a multi-phase campaign designed to counter the Zarkon threat. Fleets were dispatched to strategic locations, and elite teams infiltrated Zarkon-occupied planets to gather intelligence and conduct sabotage missions. As humanity prepared for the battles to come, a sense of unity and purpose swept across the galaxy. People from all walks of life contributed to the war effort, driven by the knowledge that their very survival was at stake. In the vastness of space, the Zarkons continued their relentless expansion, unaware of the formidable resistance that was gathering against them. The stage was set for a clash of epic proportions, and the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. Commander Carter, standing on the bridge of the flagship Titan's Fury, gazed out at the stars. We've faced threats before, he murmured to himself, but this time it's different. This time it's not just about survival. It's about showing that there is a limit to human patience in the face of mutant alien invaders. And when that limit is reached, we will fight with everything we've got. Titan Station, a critical outpost on Saturn's largest moon, was an essential hub for interstellar communication and logistics. Its advanced communication array could transmit data across vast distances instantaneously, making it a prime target for the Zarkons. If the invaders could seize control of Titan Station, they would be able to intercept, manipulate, and disrupt human communications, giving them a significant strategic advantage. Commander Michael Carter understood the importance of Titan Station. He had already begun fortifying its defenses and had stationed a contingent of highly trained soldiers and engineers to protect it. Leading the defense was Captain Elena Rodriguez, whose first-hand experience with the Zarkons made her the ideal candidate for the job. As the vanguard approached Titan Station, the crew prepared for the imminent battle. The tension was palpable, but there was also a sense of determination. Captain Rodriguez addressed her team, her voice steady and resolute. Listen up, everyone. The Zarkons are coming, and they're not going to stop until they've taken this station. We've seen what they're capable of, but we've also seen that they can be beaten. Stay sharp, trust your training, and watch each other's backs. We will hold this station. The crew responded with a collective nod, their faces set with grim determination. They had faced the Zarkons before and knew the stakes. There was no room for error. As the vanguard docked with Titan Station, Captain Rodriguez and her team immediately set to work, reinforcing the station's defenses and coordinating with the station troops. The communication array was secured, and additional energy shields were deployed around critical infrastructure. The calm before the storm was brief. The station's sensors picked up an incoming Zarkon fleet, their ships emerging from hyperspace in a coordinated assault formation. The alien vessels were sleek and deadly, bristling with advanced weaponry and shielded by a pulsating energy field. Incoming Zarkon fleet detected, reported Lieutenant Harris, monitoring the sensor array. They'll be in firing range in 5 minutes. All hands to battle stations, Captain Rodriguez ordered. Prepare for engagement. The human fleet, composed of a mix of heavy cruisers, agile fighters, and support vessels, moved into position around Titan Station. The battle began with a deafening roar as both sides unleashed a barrage of laser fire, missiles, and energy blasts. The void of space lit up with the flashes of weapons fire and the glow of shields absorbing impacts. On the ground, the Zarkons launched boarding pods toward the station, their insectoid warriors swarming out as soon as they breached the hull. The station's defenders, led by Captain Rodriguez, fought back fiercely. The corridors of Titan Station became a battleground, with soldiers engaging the Zarkons in brutal close-quarters combat. "Hold the line," Rodriguez shouted, firing her plasma rifle at an advancing Zarkon. "Don't let them reach the communication array." The Zarkons, using their shape-shifting abilities, attempted to infiltrate the human defenses by mimicking the appearance of fallen soldiers. However, the defenders were prepared, using advanced biometric scanners to detect and neutralize the imposters. Despite the relentless assault, the human forces held their ground. In the command center, Commander Carter coordinated the fleet's movements, directing fire and deploying reinforcements where needed. The battle was intense, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The Zarkons' advanced technology and mutation abilities made them formidable opponents. But the humans fought with unparalleled tenacity and resolve. "Commander, we've identified a weak point in their formation," reported Dr. Patel from her position in the science lab. "If we concentrate our fire on their flagship, we might be able to disrupt their command structure." Carter didn't hesitate. "All ships, focus fire on the Zarkon flagship. We need to take it out." The human fleet converged on the alien flagship, unleashing a concentrated barrage of firepower. The Zarkon ship's shields flared brightly, struggling to absorb the onslaught. Finally, under the relentless attack, the shields failed, and the flagship was torn apart by a series of massive explosions. With the loss of their flagship, the Zarkon fleet began to falter. The coordinated assault lost its cohesion, and the human forces seized the opportunity to press their advantage. One by one, the remaining Zarkon ships were destroyed or forced to retreat. On Titan Station, the tide of battle also turned. The defenders, inspired by the sight of the Zarkon fleet's defeat, redoubled their efforts. The last of the Zarkon invaders were driven back and eliminated, their bodies littering the corridors of the station. As the dust settled, Captain Rodriguez surveyed the aftermath. The station had sustained damage, but it remained operational. The communication array was intact, and the Zarkon threat had been repelled, at least for now. "Status report," Rodriguez called out, her voice echoing through the command center. "We've taken heavy casualties, but the station is secure," Lieutenant Harris replied. "Repairs are underway and we're re-establishing full communications." "Good work, everyone," Rodriguez said, her tone filled with a mix of relief and exhaustion. "We've won this battle, but the war is far from over." In the following days, the UEDC analyzed the data collected from the battle. Dr. Patel's team studied the remnants of the Zarkon technology, searching for any clues that could give humanity an edge. The victory at Titan Station was a significant one, but it was clear that the Zarkons would not be easily defeated. As the fleet regrouped and prepared for the next phase of the conflict, Commander Carter and Captain Rodriguez met to discuss their strategy. The Zarkons had shown their hand, and now it was humanity's turn to strike back. "We need to take the fight to them," Carter said, his eyes fixed on the star map displaying known Zarkon positions. "We can't wait for them to come to us. We need to find their neural network hubs and disrupt their command structure." Rodriguez nodded. "Agreed. And we need to do it quickly. The longer we wait, the more time they have to regroup and adapt." With a renewed sense of purpose, the UEDC prepared for the next stage of their campaign. The Battle of Titan Station had shown that humanity could stand up to the Zarkons and win. Now, it was time to turn the tide of the war and push the invaders back. As the stars shimmered outside the viewport of the Vanguard, Captain Rodriguez felt a surge of determination. The Zarkons had tested the limits of human patience, but they had also awakened a fierce resolve. The battle had just begun, and humanity was ready to fight with everything it had. In the aftermath of the Battle of Titan Station, humanity's leaders convened to plan their next moves. The data gathered from the battle had provided critical insights into the Zarkon's neural network and genetic structure. At the forefront of these efforts was Dr. Aisha Patel, whose expertise in xenobiology had already yielded significant breakthroughs. Dr. Patel worked tirelessly in a state-of-the-art lab deep within UEDC's central research facility. Alongside her team of scientists, she dissected Zarkon specimens and analyzed their unique genetic makeup. After days of intense research, they discovered a crucial vulnerability. The Zarkon's rapid mutation abilities were controlled by a central neural network, deeply intertwined with the alien runes found on their structures. "If we can disrupt this neural network," Dr. Patel explained during a briefing with Commander Carter and Captain Rodriguez, "we can cause their genetic structure to destabilize, effectively neutralizing their ability to adapt and mutate." Carter leaned forward, eyes focused on the holographic display of the Zarkon neural network. "How do we achieve that?" Dr. Patel took a deep breath. "We need to deploy a targeted bioweapon directly into one of their central neural hubs. This will introduce a viral agent designed to interfere with their genetic control mechanisms, causing widespread chaos among their ranks." "That sounds incredibly risky," Rodriguez remarked. "Infiltrating one of their hubs won't be easy." "It won't be," Dr. Patel agreed, "but it's our best shot at turning the tide of this war." Carter nodded, his mind already working through the logistics. "We'll need a team of the best soldiers and scientists for this mission. Elena, you'll lead the team. You'll need to get in, deploy the bioweapon, and get out before the Zarkons realize what's happening." Rodriguez nodded, determination etched on her face. "Understood, Commander. We'll make it happen." The mission was codenamed Operation Dark Storm. Captain Rodriguez assembled a team of elite soldiers and scientists, including Dr. Patel, to carry out the daring plan. They would infiltrate the most heavily fortified Zarkon structure on their home planet and deliver the bioweapon. As the team prepared, the atmosphere aboard the Vanguard was tense. Everyone knew the stakes were high. The ship, equipped with the latest cloaking technology, would transport the team to the outskirts of the Zarkon stronghold. "We'll be dropping in under cover of night," Rodriguez briefed her team. "Our primary objective is to reach the central neural hub and deploy the bioweapon. Stay focused and stay together. We're all coming back from this." The Vanguard approached the Zarkon home planet, slipping past enemy defenses undetected. The team boarded a stealth shuttle and descended to the surface, landing in a dense, bioluminescent forest near the alien structure. The air was thick with tension as they moved silently through the undergrowth, weapons at the ready. The Zarkon stronghold loomed ahead, an imposing structure pulsating with a sinister energy. The team used advanced scanning equipment to map out the interior and identify the location of the central neural hub. They encountered numerous patrols and automated defenses, but their training and preparation paid off as they neutralized threats quickly and efficiently. As they penetrated deeper into the stronghold, they faced increasing resistance. The Zarkons seemed to sense their presence, and the corridors became a maze of deadly traps and ambushes. Several team members were injured, but they pressed on, driven by the importance of their mission. Finally, they reached the central neural hub, a vast chamber filled with glowing runes and intricate machinery. Dr. Patel worked quickly to deploy the bioweapon, while the rest of the team held off waves of attacking Zarkons. The air was filled with the sound of gunfire and the screams of the dying. "We're almost there," Dr. Patel shouted over the commotion. "Just a few more seconds." As she activated the bioweapon, a massive explosion rocked the chamber. The neural network began to destabilize, sending shockwaves through the structure. The Zarkons, sensing the imminent threat, launched a desperate counterattack. "We need to move now," Rodriguez ordered, her voice urgent. "Fall back to the extraction point." The team fought their way back through the collapsing structure, carrying their wounded comrades. The Zarkon's coordination faltered as the bioweapon took effect, causing widespread chaos among their ranks. The team reached the extraction point just as the stronghold began to crumble around them. "Shuttle, we're ready for extraction," Rodriguez called out. The stealth shuttle swooped in, providing covering fire as the team boarded. They lifted off, escaping the destruction below. As they ascended into orbit, they watched the Zarkon stronghold implode, a massive plume of energy and debris rising into the sky. Back aboard the Vanguard, the team breathed a collective sigh of relief. They had accomplished their mission, but at a great cost. Several brave souls had fallen, and the survivors bore the scars of their ordeal. "Good work, everyone," Rodriguez said, her voice heavy with emotion. "We did what we had to do. Now let's get back to base and see this through to the end." The Vanguard jumped to hyperspace, carrying the surviving heroes back to Earth. The bioweapons effects were already rippling through the Zarkon forces, causing chaos and confusion. It was a critical victory, but the war was far from over. As the stars streaked past the viewport, Captain Rodriguez knew that they had struck a decisive blow against the Zarkons. But she also knew that the fight was not yet won. The next battles would be just as fierce, and humanity's resolve would be tested to its limits. The successful deployment of the bioweapon caused immediate and profound disruption within the Zarkon forces. The central neural network's destabilization resulted in widespread chaos, with the invaders' previously unyielding coordination crumbling. Reports flooded into the UEDC headquarters, detailing instances of Zarkon ships colliding, soldiers turning on each other, and once impenetrable fortresses left vulnerable. Commander Michael Carter wasted no time in capitalizing on this newfound advantage. He convened an emergency strategy meeting to plan the next phase of their offensive. "Operation Darkstorm was a success," Carter announced, his voice firm and confident. "But we can't afford to become complacent. The Zarkons are in disarray, and we need to strike hard and fast while they're vulnerable." Fleet commanders and military leaders nodded in agreement. The room buzzed with a renewed sense of determination. The plan was to launch simultaneous strikes on key Zarkon strongholds, reclaiming lost territories and pushing the invaders back. Captain Elena Rodriguez, still recovering from her injuries, joined the meeting via hologram. Her presence was a powerful reminder of the sacrifices made and the resilience needed to see the mission through. "Our primary targets are their remaining neural hubs," Carter continued. "With their command structure compromised, we have a chance to dismantle their operations piece by piece. Captain Rodriguez, you'll lead the assault on their main fleet assembly point near Alpha Centauri. We need to cripple their shipbuilding capabilities." Rodriguez nodded. "Understood, Commander. We'll hit them where it hurts." The coordinated offensive began with a ferocity that took the Zarkons by surprise. Human and allied fleets converged on Zarkon-held planets, their combined firepower overwhelming the disorganized alien defenses. The battles were intense, with both sides suffering significant losses, but the momentum had clearly shifted in humanity's favor. At Alpha Centauri, Captain Rodriguez led her team in a daring raid on the Zarkon shipyards. The operation was meticulously planned, with precise timing and flawless execution. As the fleet emerged from hyperspace, they unleashed a torrent of firepower, targeting critical infrastructure and supply lines. "All units, focus fire on the primary shipyard," Rodriguez commanded. "We need to ensure they can't rebuild." The Zarkons fought back with everything they had, but their disarray was evident. Without their central neural network to coordinate their efforts, their response was fragmented and ineffective. The human fleet pressed their advantage, systematically dismantling the Zarkon defenses and crippling their shipbuilding capabilities. Meanwhile, on other fronts, UEDC forces liberated occupied planets, reclaiming territory and rescuing survivors. The tide of the war had turned, and humanity's resolve only grew stronger with each victory. The once feared Zarkons were now on the defensive, their grip on the galaxy slipping away. The final battle took place on the Zarkon home planet, a desolate world that had been transformed into a fortress. It was here that the remnants of the Zarkon forces had gathered, preparing for a last stand. The UEDC assembled a massive fleet, drawing on resources and allies from across the galaxy. This was humanity's chance to end the war once and for all. Commander Carter and Captain Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the flagship Titan's Fury, gazing at the holographic display of the Zarkon planet. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation and determination. "This is it," Carter said, his voice steady. "Today we end this war. All ships, prepare for engagement. Let's show the Zarkons that humanity will not be broken." The fleet surged forward, weapons primed and shields at full power. The initial assault was met with fierce resistance as the Zarkons deployed their remaining forces in a desperate bid to hold the line. The battle raged in space and on the ground, with explosions lighting up the darkened sky. Captain Rodriguez led the ground assault, her team pushing through waves of Zarkon soldiers. The fighting was brutal, but the human forces were relentless, driven by the knowledge that victory was within their grasp. "Keep moving," Rodriguez shouted over the din of battle. "We need to reach their command center." Dr. Patel, equipped with the latest portable scanners, worked alongside the soldiers to locate the heart of the Zarkon defenses. As they breached the inner sanctum, they discovered a chamber filled with advanced alien technology, pulsating with a sinister energy. "This must be it," Dr. Patel said, her voice tinged with awe and determination. "If we can disable this, we can break their hold once and for all." With precision and coordination, the team set charges and hacked into the alien systems. The chamber erupted in a series of explosions, and the neural network that had once controlled the Zarkon forces disintegrated in a cascade of energy. As the central command collapsed, the remaining Zarkon forces faltered, their coordination shattered. The human fleet pressed their advantage, mopping up the last pockets of resistance and securing the planet. The war was over. In the weeks that followed, a sense of relief and triumph swept across the galaxy. Reconstruction efforts began in earnest, with resources and aid flowing to the worlds devastated by the conflict. The UEDC established new protocols for interstellar defense and cooperation, ensuring that humanity would be better prepared for any future threats. Commander Carter and Captain Rodriguez were hailed as heroes, their names synonymous with bravery and resilience. Dr. Patel's groundbreaking work paved the way for new advancements in genetics and biotechnology, her contributions ensuring that the sacrifices made were not in vain. A grand ceremony was held in New Geneva, where leaders from across the galaxy gathered to celebrate the hard-won peace. As the sun set over the city, casting a golden glow over the assembled crowd, Commander Carter addressed the gathering. "Today, we stand united," he declared, his voice ringing with pride and hope. "We have faced a formidable enemy and emerged victorious. But let us not forget the lessons we've learned. Our strength lies in our unity, our determination, and our unwavering resolve. Together, we will build a future where such threats can never again endanger our existence." The crowd erupted in applause, the sound echoing through the city and beyond. It was a new dawn, a time of rebuilding and renewal. Humanity had faced the limits of its patience and emerged stronger for it. As Captain Rodriguez looked out at the faces of those she had fought to protect, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The road ahead would be long and challenging, but the future was bright. United and resilient, humanity was ready to face whatever came next, confident in their ability to overcome any obstacle. And so the galaxy moved forward into a new era of peace and prosperity, ever vigilant, ever ready, knowing that they had the strength to defend their home against any threat, no matter how daunting.